Okay, so let me tell you the story of this morning. I wake up, I have no idea what I'm going to do for this tank that I'm going to have to build today. And bam, this is what I came up with in a couple of minutes while the guys were actually setting up the cameras, and then they stopped me. Stop this. And I asked why, because you need to explain to the viewers what you did, start everything from scratch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the whole thing apart and I'll let you know how the creative process went. This is a 60 pH F for flat or whatever. It's a 16 centimeter high, shallow, 30-liter aquarium. Welcome to the beautiful world of Aquascaping. Hello guys, let's start shooting. So I'm standing in front of the empty aquarium. What should I do with this beautiful Opti-White shallow tank? Let's do something minimalistic, let's do something, but I don't want to start doing the same thing again. And then I go back to the hardscape room and I find this. I remember the Cascade type bonsai trees, and I love watching videos about bonsai and building bonsai, and I find this. And I think that I should do a cascade, okay? That was my first idea. Then I try to put it on this side. And I realized it's not good because this thing is pointing backwards. So I try to put it on the other side. And then I find it, this is great because it can like hang down below the aquarium's level. That was the first point. And I like this. And then, okay, so what if I continue this getting out of the aquarium style on the other side as well? See? And now I opened it up. And what happens is this one takes the line in and then this one takes it out, and there's a cascade on the other side as well. And then I put this guy in. Luckily all these trees have a flat bottom. Looks like one tree, right? Because this one is covering the bottom of that one. I need to glue these guys together before I move on. This will not hold it much, but it will just stabilize it a little bit. It's so cool that we have customers coming from all over the world really to Green Aqua, enjoying this beautiful hobby together with us. And we ship to most European countries so that you guys can enjoy our services throughout Europe. And then I'm thinking what to do on the other side, because we need to connect these two together, right? If I put the whole thing here, just leaning it against the glass and attaching it to the main wood, that would look good. Don't ask me how I plan to light this whole thing. So I will do the scape and then we'll come up with some lighting strategy for this. I'm trying to improvise a lot nowadays. I like the process of coming up with the ideas in front of you guys. Let's drink some tea with Ironwood powder. It's like cinnamon. I really like the fact that this guy is looking downwards here, similar to that guy. And then this one is looking somewhat upwards, or like horizontally at least. And I'm trying to make this organic. You guys can already see what kind of technology we use with this tank. An ADA SuperJet ES 600, which is a great filter. It's been working with us for the past, I don't know, 10 years for sure. And we have Chihiros lights above it. The Chihiros stand should be in the middle. And this should be probably not, it should come probably here somehow. We are ready with the main structure, okay? Pretty steady, not moving, not going anywhere. This one is healing. And then I have to come up with some ideas to add some more detail to the whole thing. Somehow we need to connect to this whole thing in the middle to have this valley structure. My main idea is to do a tank that is very organically into the space and not only confined to the aquarium's volume. Question is, how can I do it? And if I find the proper plants and hygrolon later. I'm losing this line. I love this line, see? And if I put this breaks it in two. That's my problem. How to build a 120p into a 60F. What do you think, guys? Should I take a saw and cut this here and then do something about this part? This is the point where practicality is probably killing the beauty. This will take forever and it will look ugly, so I will have to ply it later with the bonsai tool. The good news is that I managed to chop that branch off. The bad news is that I broke all the connections between the right side of the wood, so I need to redo the whole thing again. The progress can have hiccups, and this was a hiccup, and it's part of the progress, right? I learned it the hard way, because if you have negative experience, that weighs more in your psyche than your positive. So you actually have to have 5 positive things to counter 1 negative thing. And that's when you have like 1 negative and 1 positive, oh, I'm moving backward. That's not true. I only had 1 negative thing that I broke this whole thing. But other than that, this wood is complying nicely. This is where we were. I'm done. I would love to have this here. I love this. See? Here, this I love. I think the hardscape is done. I have like a 2-island V-shaped structure. That's it. I used fine filter mesh to prevent the soil from rolling forward as usual. And the background will be the Amazonia version 2. It's perfect for the plants, it's perfect for the filtration. It helps you with hosting nitrifying bacteria. Soil additives. I'm using the petrified wood stone as a decoration element to have some rocks at the bottom of the wood pieces, and also to hide the fine filter mesh from being visible from the front. I opted for the ADA Plata Sand because I don't really want to have the same reddish color everywhere. I wanted to have some pale colors complementing the layout a little bit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the hygrolon, which is a material that would bring the moisture up, and it will keep the upper part moist. It will suck up the water from the aquarium. All you have to take care for the hygrolon is to cut it so that the lines of the openings will take the water up like this. So it doesn't work like this, it works like this. You should not actually glue it, because if you glue the hygrolon, it will lose the ability to take the water up from the aquarium. Hopefully it will not take the water up and behind the aquarium. So I've got a couple of plants already. I'm going to start with the epiphytes. This should come to the other side to counter the problem. This one will live here because I know that the bottom part will be below the water, so it can actually take up the water. It will look really great. All these epiphyte plants can live above the water quite nicely, so I will be okay to use them in certain places, like here. Now this needs to be actually planted. I'm using the Elatin hydropiper, which is functioning quite nice in Tommy's little aquarium, nano aquarium that he built recently. And we didn't use this plant for a longer time. The only problem is that it doesn't really like the heat, so it's generally not a good idea to plant it before summer. But fingers crossed. I am placing the weeping moss onto the hygrolon, doing nothing, just pushing it in and hoping for the best, that it will root itself onto the hygrolon. Tripartita mini, that's what I need. Something that will live near the water surface and crawl out of the water, as in the 120p aquarium. The aquarium, the layout is ready. The total width is 130. So I basically did 120p. The depth is 50. So let me know what you think of this crazy layout. Don't go anywhere, because the most important thing, fish selection, is coming. Lori helped me. We're gonna have two kinds of very interesting fish. The first one will swim on the top of the aquarium, and that is the Epiplatis annulatus, which is the killifish. And at the bottom, we will have the Corridoras sterbai, which is a really nice orangish colored finned Corridoras, and it will live down there and nothing else, because this is a 30-liter tank full with hardscape, so I don't want to put it full with fish. So 8 killifish and 6 Corridoras. And with that, we concluded this video. Thank you so much for staying here with us. Don't go anywhere. Check out how we... So it's generally not a good idea to plant it before summer. Fingers crossed. Just a quick note before you see the final images of this layout. I needed to replace the Elatine. It melted because of the heat probably, or because this light is too high above the aquarium. I don't know why. It's like 40 degrees in Budapest. We have air conditioning, but still. And we introduced the fish, and I replaced the Elatine with the hairgrass, the mini hairgrass, and some Monte Carlo. So don't go anywhere, because you're going to see how this whole thing looks, the end result. I just love the shallow tank. I love the style of it. Let me know what you think of it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.